Hello everybody. I would like to thank very much Angela Pinero and all the team behind her for organizing this wonderful event and to invite me to participate. So I would like to start my talk by apologizing because I won't present quantitative data but rather qualitative data about how teachers react and what they find about the online learning course which was developed by Dislexia International. Dislexia International, as I said 2 days ago, is an NGO in consultative status with UNESCO and which promotes free and fair education for all and equal opportunities for those who struggle with literacy acquisition by making teacher training the priority. And that's exactly the reason why we developed the online learning course for teachers, which is called Basics for Teachers, Dyslexia, How to Identify It and What to Do. It takes 20 to 25 hours to complete the course, which amounts to about 175 pages, a booklet. The course, you should know, is interspersed with video testimony, written testimony, animated diagrams, and 25 activities. It is available in French and English at the website of Dislexia International, and other versions are also available, but I'm sure Douglas will talk about the Brazilian Portuguese version. So this is the website of Dislexia International. If you click on eCampus for Teachers and Trainers, you're going to go to a menu among which you will find the online learning course for teachers. So how was the course developed? In 2008, there was a first version which was kindly revised and amended by some member of the ICE advisory panel, scientific advisory panel, and I'm very glad that some of them, if not most of them, have been here or are here. Professors Alice Lay, Stanislas Dehaene, Angela Fawcett, Elena Grigorenko, Jose Moraes, Angela Pinero, John Stein, Jenny Thompson, Johannes Ziegler. So these are part of the scientific advisory panel of Dislexia International. In 2009-2010, we conducted a first pilot study with the French and English version of the online learning course with future teachers and in-service teachers. In 2010, the revised version was presented at the first World Dyslexia Forum at UNESCO in Paris. In 2011, we published the revised version of the online learning course, again revised, amended sometimes by members of the ICE Scientific Advisory Panel. And I really would like to thank them very much for their dedication to this course. And between 2011 and now, we add here and there some information related to latest research on dyslexia. So let me talk first about how the course was implemented in Belgium, which actually as a model for the implementation of the online learning course. So I train members of the Lifelong Institute for Professional Development, and so together we trained in-service teachers together with these people in a 4-day training. Day 1 was raising awareness on dyslexia with role plays and films, theoretical presentation by myself. Day 2 was a distance learning day where participants, teachers were exploring the online learning course. Day 3 was how they would liaise dyslexia with the other members of the staff in their own school and raise awareness on dyslexia among their colleagues. And finally, a distance learning day where they were exploring the online learning course and other resources. Now, some of you may be familiar with the Moodle platform. There was a Moodle platform with useful documents and possibility of exchanges of questions and good practices between participants, teachers, who were also able to ask me more theoretical questions regarding the course. So this was really a very nice setup. The evaluation of the French version took place between 2011 and 2013. There were about 960 participants trained across 65 sessions. The average level of satisfaction of the course was 97.9%, and the participants, the teachers, had to fill in a self-evaluation questionnaire with the following item: how the training was organized, if the progression was structured, if the timing was good, about the activities and exercises, exchanges between participants, advice for personal practice, documents of quality, the background of the teachers is taken into account or not, and the daily situation of the classroom is taken into account or not. So the average on all the questions is 96.5% of satisfaction.
Congratulate Vincent on those figures. That's amazing.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everybody. Regarding what the participants had learned through the training, did they acquire new knowledge? Did they acquire tools, useful documents, ideas for working, solutions for the classroom, and they gained some distance toward professional practice? Again, average is 96% of satisfaction. Also, the teachers, and I think this may be the most important part of the questionnaire, they gain motivation, they gain insurance in professional practice, they acquired new resources, new human resources, they gain theoretical information and a better picture of legislation. As you can see, this last item is slightly lower than the others, but this is slightly normal because the online learning course is done for several countries. Now, for the evaluation of the English version, there were 112 teachers and remedial teachers attending a master program at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa. The participants detected 10% of dyslexic children after completion of the course. They consider that about 30% of the classroom displayed traits of dyslexia, which is about 7 children. And they were asked to evaluate the course. So the course is in 3 sections. I'm going to talk about each of them in turn. On a Likert type scale, ranging from very satisfactory subsection, satisfactory, neutral, not too good, or bad. So, first of all, we asked them to evaluate the objectives of the online learning course, which are as follows: understanding what dyslexia is, knowing how to identify it, knowing more about teaching reading and spelling, understanding how to start teaching children with dyslexia in an appropriate way, understanding how to help children with dyslexia manage the condition, understanding that all children learn differently, understanding the negative impact of dyslexia on children who are not taught appropriately, and understanding the positive aspects of dyslexia. Here are the results. So in blue you have complete satisfaction, in red you have satisfaction, and the green is the neutral answers. So, to be a little more precise, you can see that number 6 and number 7 lead to quite a lot quite a lot. When I say quite a lot, it's slightly less than 90% of satisfaction and a few neutral responses. So understanding that all children learn differently leads to 87.5% of satisfaction. And understanding the negative impact of dyslexia on children who are not taught appropriately leads to 89.3% of satisfaction. So these two aspects of the objective need to be enhanced. Evaluation, so that's what I just said. The average level of satisfaction, blue and red, is 93.9%, and the two objectives which induce slightly less than 90% of satisfaction were 6 and 7. Section 1. Section 1 is about, so the course is divided into 3 sections. Section 1 is on what is dyslexia, what does it feel like to have dyslexia, my gosh, what causes dyslexia, the development of reading, why is it so difficult for children with dyslexia to read fast and accurately, other learning difficulties, and summary. So as you can see from the result, the only problematic item, subsection, is other learning difficulties. And as Angela pointed out a few minutes ago, I think at the moment the course is lacking information on co-occurrence or comorbidity of various learning disability or difficulties, and this is certainly a section we will enhance in the near future. So average level of satisfaction is 96.3%, and as I said, other learning difficulties must be enhanced with more information on co-occurrence of learning difficulties such as dyscalculia, dyspraxia, etc. Section 2, how to identify dyslexia in the classroom. Why is it important to recognize dyslexia? How can you tell if a child may have dyslexia? Looking for pointers of dyslexia, informal assessment of dyslexia in the classroom, formal assessment by specialists, focusing on strengths of dyslexic learners, why label a child dyslexic, and a summary. So here, remember the blue is full satisfaction, the red is satisfaction, and the green is neutral, and here you have a little bit of purple, which is not too good. As you can see in this section, so the average level of satisfaction is 94.2%. Only one subsection induced under 90% of satisfaction, and it is why label a child dyslexic, so this section. 3 objectives induce over 5% of neutral evaluation, formal assessment by specialists, focusing on strength, and why label a child dyslexic. So you can see, so I can do the same for section 3, just to, what is most important, I think, is for you to have a view of the various subsections of the course. What to do in the classroom. There is a section on inclusion, principle of teaching literacy, practice in teaching literacy with multisensory tools, developing memory, concentration, and organization, which are usually weaker abilities in dyslexic learners, technological aids, adapting your teaching to the child's needs, learning styles, and a summary. Here again, level of satisfaction is quite good, 87.6%, and as you can see, the weaker part is this one, which is technological aids. And I think this, again, this is a little bit outdated because things are moving very fast in this domain, and so we need to make an effort to keep up to date with these technological aids. Remember also there were 25 activities. I'm not going to go through them one by one, but this relates to self-assessment of the knowledge at the end of each section of the course, designing phonological awareness task, etc., etc. So here the participant had to say whether the activity were useful or not. In blue you have the proportion of activity which were considered as useful, and the red is when it was considered as not being very useful. So the average level of usefulness of the various activity is 80%, and only 3 activities yielded percentages which were below 1 standard deviation from below the mean, less than 72%, activity 5, 12, and 15. These are mainly activity for self-evaluation at the end of the section. So I think the teachers don't want to be considered as students and being evaluated on their knowledge. So some suggestions were also proposed, and this will help us, obviously, to enhance the online learning course. I think time is going very quickly. 5 minutes, thank you. Way forwards. The weaker section will be expanded and worked on. So you have seen the general design. This is qualitative, but it's very useful because we were able to target those subsections of the online learning course which were weaker. What is lacking, of course, is a quantitative evaluation of the effectiveness or not of the online learning course. This is critically lacking, and I wish I were able to present some quantitative data, but due to lack of funding, this study was not possible to make so far. We would need a pre- and post-test to evaluate teachers' knowledge on dyslexia and how to manage it. This is being done with the Brazilian Portuguese version, and Douglas is going to talk about that. Examine whether teachers are actually changing their classroom practices or not after training. Examining the effect of the online learning course on dyslexics and others' achievement. And obviously, we would need a control group. So it's quite a heavy study to conduct. Now, other ways forward is the setup of a MOOC, Massive Open Online Course, which is called Supporting Children with Difficulties in Reading and Writing. Professor Jenny Thompson and myself are doing this MOOC in collaboration with the University of London. It will start on October the 1st, and I will leave on the table some leaflet for you to be able to find it on the web. DI is working actively to promote MOOCs on dyslexia in the 5 other official UNESCO languages: Arabic, Chinese, French, Russian, and Spanish, and obviously in other languages as well. So everybody is welcome to adapt the MOOC in English and French, which are hopefully going to come soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. At this point, I'd like to inject a little commercial, because I've had the opportunity to do this online course in Ghana and Barbados, and it really was very successful. So when it gets adapted, translated into Portuguese, I think that you should really consider it, because in general, the teachers really enjoyed it and felt that they benefited from it.